This is Lynn Henning along with Tony Paul, and we're going to try to make sense of the 2013 Detroit Tigers. And the first question I'm going to offer Tony is, can this team win as many games as everybody expects? This is baseball. It's tough. We remember '08 when everyone had the Tigers anointed as World Series champions. They finished in last place. We've had other years around here where the expectations were that a team was going to be World Series caliber. It didn't work out that way. Conversely, there have been a couple of surprises on the other end. So, Tone, can they win as many as we think they will?
Well, it just depends on how many you think they're going to win. And everyone that's saying they're going to win 100, 105 games, I think, is a little bit out of the, a little bit out of sorts, because people don't understand how difficult it is to win 100 ball games. The Tigers haven't won 100 games in, well over 2 decades, so it just doesn't happen that often. This is a very good team. They have all the makings of a team that can win a lot of ball games against a division that on the bottom half is pretty soft. A couple of the division foes got better. The Indians got better offensively. The Royals got better with the pitching. But I don't think there's a complete team in the AL Central like the Tigers. So I still think they'll win the division, and they'll win in the 90s, I think. But when you start talking about 100, 102, 104 wins, that's big-time stuff, and I just don't think that's realistic.
My thoughts exactly. I'm picking them to win 92 games, and I'm not sure that might not even be a little bit liberal, because they are going to get pressed sooner or later by a few teams in this division who are going to be better than some people think. And the realities of Major League Baseball are that so many things can go wrong in a particular game. Your starter can have an off day. Your hitters get shut down. Your bullpen blows one. It's difficult, as Jim Leyland says, to win a big league game. I've never had more appreciation for that statement than in recent years. But the Tigers should also score 100 more runs this year than they did a year ago. And that, to me, is probably the biggest difference maker, on top of the fact that they've got a very solid 5 people in the rotation.
No, the offense is, I think, the big upgrade with this team. When you start talking about, you take Delman Young out of the lineup, and you take Brennan Bosch out of the lineup, and all of a sudden you add Torrey Hunter and Victor Martinez, the offense is going to be pretty special. In fact, probably a bit more special than the teams we saw a few years ago that had the big-time muscle. This is a good team. I think you're right, though. Things can go wrong. And I think when you start talking about the Tigers, if they suffer one big injury, and you start talking an injury to Miguel or Prince or Verlander, and I know those guys are super durable, and they have been their entire careers, but you take one of those guys out of the equation a year ago, and they don't make the playoffs.
No, and the next question is, where are they going to patch up, and how will they patch up during the course of the season? They're going to need more personnel. There's going to be a big trade made in July. You can count on it, as close as we can come to counting on anything in baseball. Dave Dombrowski will make that big trade in July. I believe it will be at that point for the shortstop he couldn't get during spring. They're going to want a little more defense. In fact, they're going to want a lot more defense out of a shortstop. And I suspect they're going to be able to make that trade in July that they couldn't make out of spring training when they wanted to trade Rick Porcello, and really the market just didn't allow for it.
No, I agree. I think that there's definitely going to be opportunities to upgrade, and I think that's really why they didn't make the move in spring training. I think there were definite offers for Rick Porcello, but I don't think they want to give him away.
No.
They're not going to hand him away for a bag of baseballs. He's too talented. He throws 180, 190 innings. He's a quality Major League pitcher.
Yes.
The price only goes up with him as you get closer to that deadline. So the Tigers will reassess at that point, like they have the last several years when you look at the guys they brought in, Doug Fister among them, Anibal Sanchez. They'll reassess at that point. But they should be in pretty good position by that point as well to know where they're going and to know what they need maybe for a playoff push.
I think we both agree it's a playoff team. They're going to have to avoid the upset in the playoffs. That's always the peril, particularly in that division playoff series where you've got to win 3 out of 5. That's tough. The Tigers have made it look easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not. They're well poised to do that. But you never know in baseball. It's a funny sport. We've been wrong many, many times with teams like the Rays over the years, and then last year with the Orioles. I mean, baseball surprises you. You never know what's going to happen. But if there's a sure bet this year, it's that the Tigers are going to be there come October.
We're right. The Tigers are headed for the playoffs. People around here can relax. This is Lynn Henning and Tony Paul signing off from the Detroit News offices.